Okay, this is the situation start of April 1915. On the Western Front we have pretty much not static, to be quite honest, even though the British and the French have been attacking this Flanders salient almost continuously for a month and a half now. And they've also been attacking here occasionally, but this is more like of a sort of Verdun situation in much earlier than normally happens. They're not seriously trying to break through, they're just applying enough pressure to cause a constant stream of casualties to the Germans. Now the front, or this area downwards, really is totally static. And yet again, there's occasionally bleeding off supplies and replacements to the front lines in Flanders. One thing that is starting, Germans are starting sort of breaking up some of their fortresses and creating replacement points. But the pressure that the Allies have put on in the Western Front has been sufficient to stop the Germans from concentrating entirely on the Eastern Front. They've had to pull in some units that they weren't intending to do, and they've had to basically bring all the replacements that would have gone east to the west, just to keep things under control. The situation on the Italian front is nothing's happening, because this is still not an active front. Italy aren't in the war yet. On the Eastern Front we have in East Prussia, the Germans have actually broken the Russian trench lines just outside Kaliningrad, which is the first example of a serious break in a trench line. Admittedly, the Russians' defences were very weak there. So they're gradually starting to push the Russian army back in that area. Warsaw, static, but the German-Austrian push to try and envelop Warsaw from the south is finally making some ground. The Russian army is really bending now, and they've already started pulling a lot of units from the Warsaw perimeter to try and shore up the flanks here. If the Germans were able to concentrate entirely on the Eastern Front, I'm sure that Warsaw would fall. Whether it will anyway is uncertain. One thing the Russians, admittedly, they'd lose quite a lot of demoralisation if they lost Warsaw, but they'd certainly shorten the front line considerably, which would be a big help to them. If we go down to Serbia, the war's effectively over. The Serbian army was evacuated into Albania and into Greece. I've temporarily put it on Corfu, which was where they were historically sent to be reorganised. So there's going to be no activity on this front until the Allies set up the Salonika fortified zone, and then Bulgaria will have the option to invade Greece. Bulgarian units are basically going to stretch themselves out along the Greek border in the next few turns, and the Austrian army will be heading north. Now I could send them to Italy, but that would be ahistorical, because there's no way they know that Italy's coming into the war. That would just be me playing the system. On the Gallipoli Peninsula, not a great deal happening. It's pretty much stalemate. There's not really much option to make any progress. The terrain is horrendous. There's quite a lot of defenders, and they're entrenched. We look at the situation in Sinai. Nothing's happening. It's just a stalemate there. Even though the Turks are thinking about maybe trying to cross the canal. Who knows? They might do. If we look at Caucasus front, that's pretty much stalemated. Turks did try an attack in the centre here, but it was a disaster. The Turks can't really take much in terms of demoralisation points for losses, so they've got to be careful. Also, they've got virtually no ammunition and supplies. If you look at the Mesopotamian front, the floods were in effect. The Allies had a go at Kut, but they never really achieved anything, and they're sort of sitting outside Kut, thinking about what to do. One thing that is coming in now, we've started rolling for air power on the Western Front. We're rolling for gas, which no gas markers have been drawn yet. And that pretty much sums it up.